Hey folks, how you doing? My name is Mark. This is Why I Hate the World. What's happening? Want to jump into something a little more lighthearted for our next little segment here. So we are once again going to visit my most favorite channel, Wretched Recess. We've previously covered some of her other videos. This is the woman who likes to go through cartoons and try to find hidden messages that are brainwashing your children into being gay or trans or something like that. That's right, folks. This woman trans investigates Saturday morning cartoons. That's her thing, and it is absolutely batshit insane. We've already covered a couple of videos where she talked about the Flintstones and where she talked about Masters of the Universe. If you haven't had a chance to check those out, please check my previous videos there. I've got one for each, and they are as wacky and off-putting as you would imagine. And now this is her latest video. It is called, and I apologize in advance for the slur here, but this is what it's called, Rainbow Brite is Full of Queers. That's her video. That's the title of her video, and I think we should watch it just to see the kind of lunacy that this person is spreading around. I apologize in advance for using that word in a derogatory manner. I know that it's not necessarily a slur, although it can be used as one. This woman is definitely using it as a slur, so be warned in advance if you're not cool with that kind of thing. And I apologize for that, but, you know, I think that daylight is the best disinfectant, right? I think the way we stomp cockroaches out like this is by shining the light of day on them so that people can see what they say and not, you know, you can watch it through my video, and that way you're not giving her a view, and you will be prepared in order to fight back. So let's see what Wretched Recess has to say about Rainbow Brite. Now, if you don't remember, Rainbow Brite was a show aimed at young girls from, I believe it came out in 1984, something like that. And it was kind of the same thing that you would see from, like, say, Strawberry Shortcake or something like that. You know, it's about a girl. If I remember right, she had, like, rainbow powers, and then she had friends that were all based on different colors of the rainbow, something like that. I remember there was a cartoon that came on Saturday mornings that my sister would watch, and since she was watching, I had to watch too, because then, you know, the Smurfs came on after that. And it's Saturday morning, and it's like, well, fuck it, you know, it's cartoons, how bad can it be? But no, according to Wretched Recess here, there's all types of insidious, hidden messages from the gay agenda in order to brainwash your children into, like, I don't know, listening to a Suzanne Vega album or something. Let's see what she's got to say.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my Saturday morning cartoon series. So far we've done the Flintstones, and this is Wilma's mom with the 666 and you know what kind of swirls in the hair. Watch that.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She didn't actually say that, if I remember right. She didn't link that her hair, the swirl in her hair, was a demonic thing. She tried to claim that the swirl was like a hidden message from, like, pedophiles or something, using a debunked, like, thing that was put on fucking WikiLeaks, which has, like, no basis in fucking reality. Like, there's, like, this supposed file that the FBI uses to look for, like, pedophile symbols or whatever that is not true. There's, like, no proof that it was actually put there by an FBI agent or that the FBI actually uses it, but of course all the QAnon fucking freaks, like, believe that shit because they're idiots. Right? But yeah, she didn't claim that it was a demonic thing, so I guess Wretched Recess is, like, a conservative Christian too, huh? Yeah, I guess that makes total fucking sense.
That video, I'll link it here if you haven't seen it. She's of course wearing pearls, and we know that pearls are oysters are androgynous creatures. And of course her name was Pearl, but this isn't about the Flintstones. We've also done...
Yeah, go watch that one. It's, like, absolutely just wacky as hell. Just the fact that someone wears pearls, I guess, means that they're trans. I mean, I guess if I buy my wife a pearl necklace, that means that she's like a trans woman now. Like, I don't understand how that shit works.
On Fisto from He-Man. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it right here. But today's video is going to be about Rainbow Brite. This is the third in the series.
Yeah, don't watch hers. Watch mine. Fuck her, watch mine. I made videos covering both of hers there because they're absolutely fucking bananas. Absolutely bananas. This woman really does believe that there's some kind of wild conspiracy put on by studios that make Saturday morning cartoons in the 1980s in order to turn people gay. I wish I was making it up, but let's see what she has to say about Rainbow Brite. Let's continue on.
And there's a lot to unpack here. Right, guys? Just like last week with Fisto, we talked about, I'm sorry, but like all of the gay stuff in this cartoon. And you know, I bought...
Okay. She bought a toy, huh?
The action figure, and Fisto had a bubble bath since the last time I was here. So yes, he's nice and clean now. But we will get back to more of the like occult symbolism in the next couple of cartoons, like we did with Flintstones. Oh my gosh, there was so much. And there's some with Rainbow Brite, but this is going to follow along the lines of Fisto with the gay theme, okay?
You know, first off, if you're going to buy the figure and show it on the show, like, why not put the armor on the figure so that it's wearing clothes? I mean, I'm thinking she probably took it off on purpose so that he'd be bare-chested so that he looks more gay. That's what I'm thinking. Unless she just bought it without the armor. But a vintage Fisto figure is not that expensive. Like, Fisto is not one of those ones that cost like $100 each or something like that. So she, I guess, while she was on eBay, most easily would have seen a Fisto that's complete, that actually has the armor, which leads me to believe that she either just bought the cheapest one or she took the armor off because it makes it look like he's gay. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. It just seems a little sus to me.
But for starters, the symbolism we have going on here, I can't even believe it. Like, you too, Rainbow Brite. Even you, Rainbow Brite. We were so fooled by this cartoon. She's, of course, doing the Aleister Crowley with her hands on her face like that.
What?
We have one eye symbolism. We have a...
Wait. What the fuck? Doing the Aleister Crowley with her hands? What is she talking about? Wait a second. Is she talking about just the fact that her hands are like cradling her, like she has her face in her hands like that? No, I gotta look that up now. Mr. Crowley. I'm assuming she means this image. That's not what Rainbow Brite is doing right there. God damn it. That's not what she's doing. Is this what she's talking about? Like, this is some kind of like hand gesture for a magic, ritual from the Order of the Golden Dawn or some shit like that. But that's not what Rainbow Brite's doing at all. Rainbow Brite is just holding her face in her hands in a cute way. She's not doing this thing with her knuckles up and her thumbs out like that. So does that mean that anytime you see a picture anywhere of anybody just holding their hands in their face like that, just like, like leaning on a desk, does that mean that they're doing some kind of evil, demonic fucking ritual a la Aleister Crowley? Do you see how this shit works? You don't have to have any evidence. You don't have to have any proof. All you have to do is just say, oh, it looks like that. Why did she say that? Why did she say this woman, that Rainbow Brite is like doing a demonic fucking hand gesture? Because it looks like something that Aleister Crowley does. Do you have any proof? I mean, this would be a very easy thing to prove, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you be able to go and say, interview the creators of Rainbow Brite? I'm pretty sure this artist, like, it was only 1984. I'm pretty sure this artist is still alive. They may be in their 60s or 70s at this point. But you should be able to find this artist. Maybe you could find out, was the creator of Rainbow Brite like a pagan? Were they an occultist? Were they in the Order of the Golden Dawn? Are they like a fan of like Wicca or Aleister Crowley or some shit? You'd be able to investigate and find that stuff out rather easily. I mean, just a couple of Googles and IMBD and then some phone calls to people and some interviews, you'd be able to figure out, hey, why, what's Rainbow Brite all about? Tell me about your religious background and how that figures in your art and stuff like that. You'd be able to do it. But they don't do that because that's an actual investigation. Conspiracy theorists don't actually investigate anything. They just make assumptions, just like she did just right here. She just saw a picture of a cartoon character posing in a certain way and then instantly made the assumption that it's part of some demonic ritual thing. Do you see how it works? This is why you can't listen to anything that conspiracy theorists ever say ever. Because it's all bullshit that they just make up on the fly. Now she's talking about something to do with her eye.
We have one eye symbolism. We have a pentagram under the eye. It's like...
It's not a pentagram.
And gay flag arm things.
It's not a pentagram, it's a star. Pentagrams point downwards. The pentagram it's a 5-pointed star that points downwards, right? When it points upwards, it means something different. It's just a star, like you would see on like a sticker or something, or on the American flag or whatever. The 50 stars on the American flag, they look like that, right? Are those all evil demonic pentagrams? I really like this. I like how this woman is supposedly, quote-unquote, investigating this stuff, but doesn't even know what this shit actually means. That's like basic occultism right there, like basic shit that you learn from Wikipedia. You don't even have to like join an order of anything and worship or get initiated into the Freemasons or whatever in order to learn that. That's like just something from like a Wikipedia page about occult symbols. If you're going to do this stuff, Wretched Recess, like learn about it. Take some time, read a couple of books, because you're not even doing it right. Like, it's fucking hilarious. Moving on.
All right, let's get into it. And a red pentagram in her hair. Bro,
star.
Seriously. Come on.
Not a pentagram.
Fisto just wants more attention. He wants more screen time, so here you go, Fisto. Everything always seems to come back to this guy, so...
I guess that was supposed to be funny.
Rainbow Brite was doing this pose.
No, she wasn't.
The pentagram. Let's take another look.
I'm going into this blind, by the way. I have not pre-watched this. I wanted this to be a surprise for myself. I knew exactly what she was talking about there. Oh, she's doing this pose. It's not the same pose. I mean, you saw it. You can rewind the video to where I compared the two. It's not even close to the same fucking pose. It just vaguely looks like it. And so she's making all of these assumptions based on that. It all comes back to this guy, like... I mean, first, that's ridiculous. Secondly, if you actually think that Aleister Crowley actually had superpowers, then you're a moron. Magic doesn't actually exist. There's no powers that you gain from magic. Magic is essentially prayer. It's the same thing as prayer when it comes to occultism, when it comes to Wicca, when it comes to any type of witchcraft. And I kind of group witchcraft and occultism in the same group, even though they're not even close to the same thing. They both try to use what you would call magic. But it's essentially the same thing. It's using your will in order to affect the world around you through some unknown paranormal process, right? And it doesn't work. Magic only works if the victim of the magic actually believes in it. Like if you're trying to do a curse on somebody, that person will only be affected by the curse if they believe that the curse is actually real. And in that sense, it's just like psychosomatic. It doesn't actually do anything. The person just gets freaked out or whatever, and then gets in an accident or something, and then they attribute that to magic because they're all fucking freaked and nervous. Like, no, like you can't curse people, you can't make shit happen with magic. You can't fly, you can't turn people into toads, you can't read people's minds, you can't do any of that stuff. Magic is just like a prayer. It's the exact same thing as when you sit down at night and you do your evening prayer to whatever god that you pray to, whatever god it is, doesn't matter what the fuck it is, it's the exact same fucking thing. There is no such thing as actual, they call it low magic. The actual magic that causes shit to happen, that is just not a thing. If you believe it, you're a superstitious, crazy person. And the thing you got to remember, folks, is that millions and millions and millions of people out there believe that it's true. You know why? Because they also believe that prayer changes the world. They believe that when they pray, that God hears their prayers, and then God changes stuff to the way they like it. My sister got cancer, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed for her every day. And then it worked. She was cured. It's a miracle. I mean, yeah, what about the chemotherapy? I guess that's what really cured her. But no, they attribute that to prayer. Oh, my daughter got lost or whatever. She was kidnapped, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed every day. And then it's a miracle the police found her. She wasn't really kidnapped. She just ran away from home and was hanging out with her friend down the street. Whatever. Oh, I lost my keys, and I prayed and I prayed, and it's a miracle I found my keys. The prayer is not doing anything. The prayer isn't changing shit. No. It's the exact same thing as when a voodoo guy goes and gets a chicken and sacrifices it and does a ritual and gets possessed by the spirit of Aloha or whatever and dances and shit like that. It's the exact same thing. You're just praying. It's that, but with like less steps. Trying to claim that Aleister Crowley or anybody actually has superpowers, has actually gained the ability to change things through their will alone is ludicrousy. And if you believe it, then you're a superstitious idiot. Continuing on.
Here's like another picture. And that was like, at the time, this was on from 1984 to 1986. I was literally like 5-6 years old. I was very little when this was on. And Rainbow Brite is not one that I have a recollection of actually watching the show, but I remember really liking the character, and I have a toy here that or like a little game that you're not going to want to miss, and we are going to come straight back to this character.
All right, what's wrong with that character, right? I mean, I'm not really super hip with the Rainbow Brite lore either, but remember, it's a show made for girls. So what's wrong with that character? What is it about that character that messes with the sexuality of little girls? It's a bright, cute, fuzzy thing with stars and rainbow shit on it. How is that manipulating the sexuality of small children? I would like to get that explanation. Somehow, I don't think we're going to get an explanation like that from this video, but let's continue on.
Lots to say about this one. Yeah, let's get into it. Notice the stars.
Alright, we're just gonna, increase the speed of this because this woman fucking talks super slow, so let's continue on.
And literally, gay flag on everything. Lots to say about this one. Yeah, let's get into it. Notice the stars and literally, gay flag on everything. We'll get into the gay flag history in one moment. In case you're new here, I recommend reading this article on Vigilant Citizen about the one-eye sign and its origins and occult meaning. I mentioned that when I showed you the little star under Rainbow Brite's eye. That is symbolic.
We could speak to that a little bit. There is no occult meaning per se of the one-eye thing. That's something that has been made up in, recent years. Not really. I mean, there is some symbolism in some, I guess you would say, occult schools, societies, things like the Freemasonry, that kind of thing. If you can even call Freemasonry that. Symbols like, say, the Eye of Providence. That's the eye that you see on the back of the dollar bill inside of the pyramid, for example, right? That's true. But attributing, a celebrity covering their eye to the Illuminati or whatever, or, that's a symbol that they're being controlled by the Illuminati, that's 100% made up bullshit. That is something that has started within the last decade, I believe. It's like Alex Jones shit. It's baloney. I could be wrong here, of course. I'm not an expert on everything that has to do with magic or the occult, but I am somewhat well read, for a layman that is, when it comes to these things. But really, it is just an invention of conspiracy theories. So, yeah, I mean, check out the article she said there if you want to learn what they believe, but please remember that it's bullshit.
Some really good information on Quora as well. Why do celebrities cover one eye in their pictures? Sometimes, guys, comments are gold. You've got to read through this. This answer has some of like the basic stuff, but this one gets into dissociation and mind control. And yeah, check this out. Check this article, this question and answers out.
Look what she's just doing, by the way. She's using as her proof that what she believes is true a comment on a Quora question. Now, what is Quora? Quora is a website where you go on, people ask questions, and then other people answer it, right? But there's no fact-checking done on Quora. It's all like, well, this guy says it's this, and this guy says it's that. So it's really just hearsay. And that, I think, is symbolic of conspiracy theories in general. She just went out, she Googled it, she found the first thing that she agreed with, the first thing that agreed with her position on it, and she took that as gospel because it made her feel good. You can't do that, like, say, for example, if you're writing a paper for, like, a college class or something, or, like, a thesis, if you're doing something like that, right? You can't do that. You have to have, like, an actual verified source, or else you'll just get laughed out of the room when you're trying to make your argument. You can't just be like, oh, well, this website said it, this Quora answer said it, this fucking YouTube comment said it, so that means it's true. No, you have to actually go find an actual source of someone who's like, an expert in their field, or like a scientist or peer-reviewed or something like that, something with some actual substance, something where somebody cites their notes and how they came to this conclusion. That's what you're supposed to do when you actually search for facts. Remember, conspiracy theorists don't give a shit about facts. They care about what makes them feel good. That's why they do things like they go on Quora and they use Yahoo Answers and they fucking like ask Alexa and shit like that. And they go on fucking ChatGPT and ask them for the question. And they just take, if it says what they like, then they believe it. These people don't actually investigate anything. They speculate.
All right, before we really dive into the juicy stuff, I want to remind you guys, I can't remember if I've re-uploaded this. As we know, all of my original videos got pulled down.
I wonder why.
Indoctrination is when they slowly keep pushing something to get your beliefs to change. And if you don't change what everybody else has, you are just, what's wrong with you? Why don't you accept it, right?
Well,
so looking back at Rainbow Brite, guys, I am like convinced this is like a gay pride, like a just gay celebration show. What's the problem? The problem is that's a sexual thing aimed at kids. And my channel...
First off, I like how she has to put the definition of the word indoctrination. Like, we don't know what that means. I mean, you learn that word in junior high school, don't you? We know what the fucking word means. That's fine. Secondly, like, I've yet to see any actual proof or evidence why Rainbow Brite is actually insidious. How is it secretly sneaking in any, like, brainwashing indoctrination to our young female viewers? Remember, this was a show aimed at young girls. I could tell you the boys weren't really watching it back then. I actually do remember 1984. It was a very good year. Ghostbusters came out that year. Right? 1984, Transformers came out that year. It was an awesome year. I was a young kid. And I can tell you that Rainbow Brite was not a thing that the boys were watching. The girls were watching it. My little sister watched it. And I think I may have seen 2 or 3 episodes while I was waiting for other cartoons to come on. So remember, this is targeted at young girls here. So I'm very, very interested in what she has to say about how it is messing with the sexuality of young girls. I like how we have less than a minute left in her video and she actually hasn't gotten to that. I guess that's why this is part 1. Let's continue on.
Wretched Recess is all about creepy, inappropriate, like weird stuff that they push on kids. And that's part of indoctrination. Get them young. Get them from the time they're young to accept this stuff. And right now...
Kind of like a religion, wouldn't you say? I mean, that's kind of exactly what religions do, isn't it? Kind of like, Sunday school. Get your kids in there in Sunday school. Get them in there while they're young, and then they'll believe it for the rest of their lives. I mean, I don't know. It seems to be very strange that they are projecting this behavior that they do to their kids onto everybody else's kids because of a TV show that they don't like.
Now you might be like, if you're new here, oh yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist. I have some pretty solid proof, so stick around. By the way,
No, she doesn't.
Definition here: indoctrination means teaching someone to accept a set of beliefs without questioning.
Yeah, we know what it means, you dumb bitch. Let's continue on. Where's the evidence? That's it. The last 2 seconds, like the last minute, is just her telling us what the word indoctrination means. Like, if I wanted to like look up the fucking word, I'd open a dictionary. Disappointing. I'm very, you know, I gotta say, my review of your video here, Wretched Recess, this video was very uninformative and very disappointing because you didn't actually talk about what is making Rainbow Brite indoctrinate the actual children. You wasted 5 minutes talking about stupid random bullshit that had nothing to do with the actual character. Like, you showed up Rainbow Brite there for half a second and said, look at her, oh, they're pentagrams, when there actually weren't pentagrams, you know, on her. Those were just stars. Pentagrams are like when a star is pointing downwards, right? That's when it becomes like of occult significance. Just having it on your thing. And here's the other thing, right? It could also just be a star. Just be a star, that means absolutely nothing. Why does every fucking thing out there that has like stars on it like have to be part of some kind of occult ritual? I mean, no. What about when your teacher gives you a star sticker when you're in first grade and you, like, you know, spell the word rabbit right or something? And she goes, good job, here's a star next to your name. Is she like, I don't know what, casting some kind of fucking, like, spell on you or something? It's like, it's the dumbest shit ever. I don't know. Should I even bother going on to part 2? I guess maybe we'll save it for next time. I'm just very disappointed because this video sucked. It sucked, but I guess it did show, in some sense, what the conspiracy theorist mindset really is about. You know, how she just goes on Quora and doesn't actually research anything. She just goes on the internet and just finds shit that she thinks agrees with her. And how she misunderstands stuff, and how she doesn't even really know much about the subject that she's talking about. Some final advice for you, Wretched Recess. Read a couple of books. Read some books if you really are interested in the occult and what it's really about. And if you really do think that cartoon studios from 40 years ago were indoctrinating kids in order to turn them into satanic pedophiles or something, read a couple of books about occultism and Satanism and things like that. Don't just read books from some like wacky ass fucking grifting televangelist or something like that who's only interested in your money. Actually go out, read Aleister Crowley's books. Read the actual source material, make judgments for yourself, learn what the words mean, because you're going to encounter lots of words that you won't understand. It looks like you're pretty good at actually going and like looking up the definition of words. I mean, at least you told us what indoctrination meant, so that's good. Take notes and become an expert in the field before you just talk shit about things that you don't know anything about, because it makes you look like a goddamn moron. And once again, folks, as a parting word of advice, magic is not real. Magic is not real. There is no conspiracy theory. Your children are not being brainwashed into turning gay and trans. It's just not a thing. Will we even watch part 2? I don't know. I'm feeling a little let down from Wretched Recess here, but maybe we'll check it out later. That's all I got, folks. Adios.
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.